Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of my East Coast dive series. So the second in the series, as I said at the end of my last video on Snoopy Deep, is 3 rocks. 3 rocks is a great little site. We normally anchor in about 6 meters and the site will go down to about 11. So it's an ideal site if you've done a deep dive earlier on, because you can just off gas, nice shallow depth. But 3 rocks never fails to disappoint. You will always find something, especially on the southern side. There's macro, there's fish, all sorts of stuff. So I love the site. You know, it's not hardcore diving, but it's definitely hardcore photography and videography. So let's go and dive 3 rocks. So we're off to 3 rocks now. One of the favourite sites for divers in the UAE. It's a nice easy dive. It's a series of pinnacles, not that far from the shore, but it's always got something to see, something to film. So we're going over there now, and we'll jump in and see what we find. Ravi's driving the boat for us to 3 rocks today. It's funny seeing him driving and not being underwater with him. Three rocks is generally second dive. It's nice and shallow. You can get easily 60-70 minutes on it with a full tank. Well, I can anyway. And it's nice. It's like being in decompression for the whole dive, just off gassing. There we are, coming up to 3 rocks now. And the reason it's called 3 rocks is because at high tide you can see the tips of 3 rocks. There are actually more rocks than the 3, but that's how it got its name. Just drop the anchor in, just on the sandy bottom here.
So there I am, camera at the ready. Ready for a quick backward roll. There we go. Underwater selfie time. And straight down to the bottom. It's only 6 meters, so we're down there in a jiff. And this is what you see. Fish galore, fish all over the place on 3 rocks. It's now a marine protected area, so that helps. But these Ehrenberg snappers are beautiful. There's a jawfish that we came across, and here he is trying to eat, I think, the remains of an oyster. But he wasn't shy when that was about. We find crabs nearly all the time. You've just got to look under the ledges, particularly to the backside of 3 rocks. Just get your torch and get your GoPro down, and you'll meet these friendly people. I love these fellows, porcupine puffers, usually timid. Damselfish, they're not timid. These are supposed to be 3 spots. Morays, 3. Sometimes on this dive we saw 3 free swimming morays, which is not so common. Here we've got some greasy grouper. Not too friendly, sort of indignant look before he swims away. And here's his buddy with much better markings. It's good the grouper are coming back. And then we stumbled upon this fellow. I thought initially he was kind of trapped with his front fins or claws, but he wasn't. He was just having a good old scratch. It's a green turtle, as you can see. He's got 2 pairs of prefrontal scales right at the front. If he was an olive ridley, he would have 4. And then I set up my little other GoPro on a tripod. Here's a blenny, and this is a pistol shrimp and goby hole, as I call them. And out comes the goby having a look. We've retreated at this stage, so he's not bothered at all by the GoPro. And out comes the pistol shrimp. And these two just work all day long, keeping the roof on. Triggerfish, porcupine puffer again not timid at all. They usually are with a lot of scorpionfish on 3 Rocks, guaranteed if you look for them. As I say, shoaling fish, especially when there's a slight current, they just all line up and head into the current. And they're shallow, so the light reflects off them. Here's a Moses sole, not so easy to find. Rainbow runners, Picasso triggerfish, they don't like people being around, that's for sure. Here's 2 giant puffers, again, not bothered, not a care in the world, not bothered by divers. These, I believe, are sweet lips, and they shoal around. Pharaoh's cuttlefish, we were lucky, we found a nice pair. You usually see them on every dive, but look at the display they're giving us. Never tire of looking at cuttlefish, never. Some more sweet lips again. You can always find, if you look hard enough, banded shrimp inside the rock and crevices. I'll just shine my light in and get the GoPro going. Sergeant mangers in abundance. Pipefish, I see them nearly every time, and they're so easy to film because they don't move around. Look at this giant puffer, doesn't care, it's just staring at me. So yeah, what are you doing here? You know, lionfish, always you'll see on 3 Rocks lionfish. They're always out and about. Another greasy grouper. This one's not bothered, he's having a rest. And then time to go back to the boat. And that was another good dive on 3 Rocks.
What was that?
That was an amazing dive on 3 Rocks. Lots of things to see. Morays out in the open. Turtles scratching on coral. I don't know what that was about. But really, 3 Rocks never fails to disappoint, whatever the visibility. It was a lovely 70-minute dive. So now back to the hotel, get cleaned up and drive back to Dubai. Take it away, Ravi.
Hi.
Thanks, Carlos. As you can see, not far away at all. So we keep our kit on so we can climb off the boat easily with it on and walk up the beach. Here we are back at Sandy Beach. Carlos has been a superstar today. Thank you very much.